Our second storyteller this evening is Sriram uh, Shamu, and he's a Madeira resident since 2018. He is the vice president of customer technology at the Kroger Company, and his story is going to talk about lessons learned on his life journey, and it's entitled My Journey.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Maria, that is a really moving story. And one thing I learned over time is it's really hard to speak after somebody who does such a fantastic story. So promise me that every time I pause, you guys clap or smile or something so that I feel that I'm not totally messing it up, right? So there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody is listening, right? So thank you, Vice Mayor, for inviting me and the inclusion committee to having me here. I'm really excited to be here. This is actually a great time to meet a lot of people. Winter is over. It's kind of feels like we can get outside and move around. First of all, I want to introduce my wife, Lata. She's here. So we've been married for 33 years or 32 years, and we'll be celebrating our 33rd anniversary in less than a month. So as I talk about my story, it's actually our story. And as we go through, you'll actually find our stories intertwined quite a bit over the years. So I was born, first, I moved to Madeira in 2018. We stay just off Summit Avenue. I have two daughters. Both are in the East Coast. My older daughter is doing her MBA at Northeastern University, and the younger one is working in New York at NASDAQ. They both come here. I think moving to Madeira has been a great relief because they can come and visit us. We spent 30 years in the Bay Area before we moved here. So that's actually been a welcome change to have our children come and visit us. So my journey started in a small village in India, South India. In fact, it is a small village. It's still a small village. And I was born on the farm of my grandmother, and I was delivered by a midwife. And I'm talking about the early 1960s. And in those days, it was pretty common to have the baby being born in the grandmother's house, or the wife goes to the mother's house. And my mom did that. And I was born right after midnight, I believe. And the midwife turns to my mom and says, "This boy is really lucky. He will live like a king." And my mom used to repeat that when I was growing up, and I took that to heart. So maybe there is a luck factor somewhere that I can actually tap into if everything goes wrong. Interestingly, there is also a custom that the woman goes over to the mother's house and stays for about 3 or 4 months. So my mom was with my grandmother for about 3 months or 4 months after I was born. My dad, who was actually a doctor in the medical college, one of the biggest medical colleges in the state, was hanging around with his buddies and doing whatever they do in the hospital, right? And he used to have meals with his buddies. And one of his friends was actually an eye surgeon by the name Dr. Subramaniam. Interestingly, Dr. Subramaniam's wife had also gone to deliver a baby girl. Pause, drum roll. Had it been a movie, that would have been Lata. But it was not. It was her older sister. So she was born a few years later. And of course, our family, her father had operated on my mother's grandfather and my grandmother and all kinds of people in the family. And we joke that actually more people know her in my family than they know me. So it goes back a long way. And our mothers are friends. Our fathers are, of course, very good friends and colleagues. So I grew up in Kerala, which is one of the small states in India. And if people know that, it's on the west coast of India, and they call it God's own country. It's a beautiful area. It's also very multicultural, right? So we have the language spoken. I'm of Tamil origin, so we speak Tamil at home. My father is from Tamil Nadu, my mom is from Kerala. We speak Tamil at home, but the language in the state was Malayalam. So we learned to speak Malayalam and Tamil. And then, of course, when you go to school, you have to learn how to speak English and Hindi. And then later on in life, I learned a little bit of French. The only thing I can say, so I was truly multilingual, but I can say I usually sucked in every language. I'm really bad at language. I can't do any language. I sometimes get confused even today. I'm speaking in Tamil or Malayalam or some other language, but I get by, so it's okay. But we speak Tamil at home. We try to bring our kids up learning a little bit of Tamil. They were both born in the US. Growing up in the college, there were two things that happened, right? When you grow up with doctors, you get a vaccination every year, multiple times. I don't know what they are, but I get them every year. And the two, if you get hurt, you get great medical care. So as a boy growing up, I think, we used to play a lot of, I used to play a lot of sports, and my only goal was to really become a sportsman, right? That is like the pretty much all boys growing up kind of want to become a sportsman. That is my goal. So I played cricket, I played field hockey, I played badminton, I played tennis, ping pong, you name it, every sport we would play with them because the students in the college would let us play because we are the kids of the professors. They really didn't have a choice, right? So they would let us play. So I was generally good at sports, not too bad. And I came up to the state level and at the university level when I was playing. And I was I was reasonably good at academics. But I found out really, if you're playing sports, you need one skill, which I didn't have, which is speed. I was the slowest guy in the team, and very quickly I realized that I'm not going to go anywhere as a sportsman, even though my parents really encouraged me to go and play games when I wanted to. So that means, I think Mark Zuckerberg stole the word from me. It's called fail fast. So as soon as I realized that I'm not going anywhere, I said I'm not going to play sports competitively after that. And I decided I should take up academics, start studying. So in my junior year and senior year, I said, I need to study. And, in India at that time, you become a doctor or an engineer. And given that everybody in my family, my dad, my sister, my uncles, grandfather, everybody is a doctor, I said, I want to branch out and go and do engineering. The only thing is I didn't know anything about engineering. And there are some colleges there was a few colleges in India called the Indian Institute of Technology, which are one of those high, fairly hard to get in. In fact, one about 10,000 people can get in if you apply. And they have a 12-hour test that you need to write. So I studied hard, wrote the exam, thought about the midwife who said, this guy is born lucky. And I lucked out. So I actually got into the school and I joined. And so it's all luck, right? So don't take it as anything else. Luck works very well. And getting into IIT is hard enough, but getting the right major is even harder because it's like matching for doctors when they go for residency. You cannot put your list of majors that you want to major in, and they will kind of match you based on your rank or score. And I got chemical engineering. And I said, I like chemistry. I should like chemical engineering. Because go into IIT, find that chemistry and chemical engineering have nothing to do with each other. So, but it was fun. I mean, it was extremely competitive place. And you find out lesson number 2, right? You're never the smartest person in the room. You meet a lot of people who are much smarter than you, and you need to figure out how to work with them. And that's what I did. I mean, I have a lot of lifelong friends that I'm still in touch with. I meet on a regular basis, and we are very close. I mean, in fact, with WhatsApp and so on, we have friends pretty much, my IIT classmates pretty much across the world. And when I go to any city, all I need to do is send a note saying, hey, I'm coming to New York, and 5 people are saying, please come and visit us. You can stay with me. You can go for dinner. So it's actually a great way to keep up with my network of people. Graduated from IIT, and then I was trying to decide what to do next. And because I didn't really like chemical engineering, so I applied. I got a job in India and had a couple of admissions for an MBA. I also applied to the United States and got a couple of scholarships to come here and study. At that time, India was really close to the market, right? The growth in India was really, really low, and there was really not a great opportunity. So a lot of people used to migrate out of India. So I said, okay, maybe the right thing to do is let me also go to the States. Since I had a scholarship, my dad said, okay, sure, go ahead. And he supported me to coming here. So I came to Washington State University at Pullman, and I go into Pullman. And has anyone been to Washington State or Pullman? There you go. 26,000 people when I went there, 22,000 students, there's nothing else there. So I go from a 5 million big city in Madras or Chennai to this little town in Pullman, and I say, what did I get myself into? And then after I spent about a few days in the lab, in the basement, I decided I don't think chemical engineering is my field of study. The joke in Pullman was, there are 2 really interesting things in Pullman. You watch the grass grow, and you watch the apple fall off the tree. Neither of them really appealed to me. So I had to say, I need to get out of here. And I know I didn't want to go back then. I'll be a failure. So I said, let me think about something else. So I said, I'll apply for computer science because I'd done a computer science class when I was in IIT. It was those punch cards and feeding them into a mainframe. So I said, I can do software. I mean, I had done algorithms, so I can do really well. So I applied for a scholarship to Wisconsin. I got the admission there. They gave me a scholarship. So I moved to Madison and did my undergraduate, my master's in computer science. Best 2 years, Madison, great city, beautiful campus, very liberal, very, everything, it checks off everything, except that it's really cold. So, so I told myself, I need to get out of the Midwest and never come back, or anywhere in the North and never come back. So I, I moved to California. So I went to the Silicon Valley and I worked in multiple companies over the years. And, all of them, some of them good, some of them bad. I worked in startup companies that went bust. I worked in startup companies that did well. I worked in big companies, small companies. So while we were doing that, I mean, Silicon Valley, I was talking to Jim and he said, he lived over there, great place to live in, very diverse, not unlike Kerala, very multicultural, a lot of talent. So not unlike IIT, you get the best of people coming there. People want to go there because it's an open discussion. You have a lot of, let's say, dissent. People question openly. The person with the best idea wins. It is not the VP or the CTO who wins, but the person who has the best idea wins. That is what attracts a lot of people from around the US, around the world, to go to Silicon Valley. And so we enjoyed living there. And around the time we had two girls. So we were thinking about how do we get them to understand their origins and connect to the family. So eBay was setting up a development center in India. And so I got selected to go run that. So we moved to India, four of us, and we spent 2 years over there. And by the time India had changed, India had opened up a lot of development in India, and most of the smart people don't want to come anywhere. They want to live in India and work there. So I kind of missed the boat. I mean, that is maybe my unluck, but if I had stayed for 20 years in India, maybe I'd have never moved out of there. So we went to India, fantastic time. And the best thing we did is we got a black lab, Cody, that we picked up in 2009. Unfortunately, we had to put him down 2 weeks ago. He stayed with us for 14 years. We brought him from India. He stayed in Madras, Chennai. He came to Silicon Valley. He came to Cincinnati. He was in Madeira. And I'm sure if you walk around Madeira, you'd have seen us walk at the black lab. And he gave Jim, he used to market Jim all the time. There you go. So, but, we had great 14 years, and I hope he's had great 14 years with us, and he got to see the world. I mean, he traveled around quite a bit. So after India, we came back, and I worked in a few more companies, and I was trying to figure out what is next. That is when Kroger came. I think Amazon acquired Whole Foods, and Kroger's e-commerce business was not doing very well. So they reached out to me and they recruited me to come over to Cincinnati. So I moved to Cincinnati. At that time, again, we were looking at, do we want to come back to the Midwest? And quite honestly, we didn't know where Cincinnati was. I knew it's in Ohio, by the way. And when the first time I came here, the pilot was saying, welcome to Kentucky. And I'm saying, do I need to take a connection to get to Cincinnati? Did I mess up something? And the second thing I see when I come out is tornado safety areas. So I said, I can deal with that. Earthquake, there is no warning. Tornado, at least there's a warning. I can actually go and hide somewhere. So actually, it felt a lot better. So we came and visited. I think the opportunity was great that we actually said we need to come over here. And I think it's been a fantastic time for us, right? We have spent the last 5 years and working with Kroger and being able to serve the community, serve the associates, serve the customers. And especially during the times of COVID, when my team was doing all the COVID vaccinations, if there was a bug, you didn't get an appointment, that's not my fault. That's somebody else's fault, right? So please, So we got during COVID, it was a lot of work. We were doing a lot of work with technology, how to make pickup easier, how to make delivery easier, and there was so much demand. So I think just the 3 years during COVID was exceptionally gratifying. So I worked in many companies. So learning has been one of the other things that I really I'm really focused on. It's a lifelong passion for me. My grandmother, again, goes back to the family. My grandmother probably did elementary school. But she learned 4 or 5 languages after that. She could play musical instruments, and she would write me letters in English just to practice. My mother, at the age of 45, when all the kids left home and went to college, she went and enrolled to be a pharmacist. She got a degree, opened up a pharmacy, and she was a pharmacist till about 5 years ago. Leta came from India, and she studied her MBA when she was in San Jose. Both my girls have gone through. One is doing grad school, the other one has finished grad school, and I keep learning by working. Every job I work in, there's something new that I learn because every company is different. Every technology is different. I started with mainframe, gone to PCs, mid-range computers, workstations, cloud, native apps, you name it. Like I've done everything over the past 30 years, and I'm sure there'll be something else. Maybe it is quantum computers or maybe it's AI, but we are ready for it. We'll learn new things and we'll do good in that. We are like I also helped. When I came here, my girls also were kind of not very excited, but one of my second daughter eventually ended up. Don't boo. She went to Michigan for a grad school, and and we are proud that she came and studied in the Midwest, and she got a feeling of that. She interned in a summer in Kroger, and she likes it. She still is my biggest critique on how our native app works or how the website works, and she'll keep sending me bugs. So I have somebody at home who keeps me on my toes, and a lot of people at work who keep me on my toes. So what my story is that eventually I think I have a lot of learnings along the way. But the biggest thing is we had a lot of concerns coming to Cincinnati, but we made a lot of friends here. And Leta is part of a book club that she Madeira book club. I think there's a very active Madeira book club. She's part of that. She has a nonprofit organization that she started that helps people with to understand heart health awareness. We are part of a hiking club that we go hiking any which way to meet people. And finally, I found a sport where my speed is not a problem anymore. I started learning playing golf for the past 2 years. So that's the one I can walk. I don't need to run. I don't need to do anything. I don't even need to be strong to hit the ball. So that's like perfectly like my up my alley. But Cincinnati has been great. So eventually, what we figured is it's not really the good weather, the restaurants. Yeah, that matters. I know, Jim. I know there's only 2 Chinese restaurants in town that you like, but it's really the people that you work with and the people that you live with and how you connect with the community. And I think coming to Cincinnati, being in Madeira, I think we have found a place that really connects with us and we enjoy living here. Thank you for listening to my story. This has been awesome.